Welcome back to my second tutorial for how to do makeup. This is different. Not everybody has to look at this. This is specifically for the handful of people who have volunteered or been voluntold to work on bruises and just messing people up backstage. If you're wondering why I have weird makeup on my face or I look half done, don't question it. I just filmed the last tutorial video. So, for those specific people that have been entrusted with bruises, one brush to rule them all. That's all you need. One brush and a palette. The one big palette back there is the exact same one that I have because I had it and I used it for Alice in Wonderland and it low-key got trashed and then was never used again. Well, no, it got trashed and then I was like, I'm not taking this home because I use this and this is my personal and that's disgusting. So I got a new one. Yay! But it has pretty much all the same colors in it. I think there's like a couple that are different. So, it should be pretty easy to follow backstage. I know it's giant. Don't be scared. You're going to use like 2 colors out of this thing. So, first thing about doing bruises. Placement. Make sure that it makes sense. It would be weird to have a bruise like on the tip of your nose. Like, I mean, I guess you could, but it would be weird. Try to keep them to more bony places, like cheekbones, foreheads. You can give somebody a black eye. I don't know. It depends. We're gonna have to probably figure that out in more depth later on. But hey, here's a bruise tutorial for anybody who needs it. Or even if you're not doing makeup for the show and you somehow found this video, then congrats and welcome, and you're gonna learn too, I guess. Or if you watched the other makeup tutorial and saw this one and said, I wonder what this is about. Not technically for you, but welcome anyway. So, base off. You're gonna want to find a dark purple color for your base. So I'm using, you can't see anything. This one right here. Again, one brush to rule them all. Just get a nice healthy dosing. I'm gonna give myself a one directly on my cheekbone, on top of my already weird ass makeup. Let me do it on this side because this side I have blush on and I don't want to mess things up. So you're just gonna kind of, okay, I got punched in the face right here. Boom. Circles. This is gonna be a lot of circular motions. So grab the purple, blah 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 blah. Wow, it already looks kind of like a bruise. If I was in a cartoon, do not let anybody walk out on stage with this on their face. It looks weird. Why do they have a purple spot? Are they sick? I don't know. Get that away from me. Kind of make it look splotchy. Make sure that you blend the edges out a lot, because that would be weird. Bruises kind of, especially when they're on the face, spread out a lot more because the blood vessels are so, special. So really make sure that you blend out those edges and don't have anything too harsh. And then make sure that you're keeping a, concentric pattern. Bruises are more circular. They're weird shaped, but mostly for this, we're going to go stick and assume that they're circular. Pick your center spot, and everything's going to build out from that center spot. My center spot is going to be right here, which is where I first initially put down the purple. So, and then you kind of do there, and then you're going to blend that out. So this is my centric spot. So now I'm going to go back in, same purple, and I'm going to dab it directly on that centric spot. That's my center. That is where it's going to be the darkest. I kind of just messed up how that color is supposed to be. Okay, boom. That's my center dark spot. Already looking pretty bruise-like, right? So now we're going to go back on top and grab some red, because blood is red, and your broken blood vessels are, you guessed it, red. So we're going to make sure that you grab a darker red. You're not going to want anything too extreme. Again, just a little bit, and kind of just go all over with that. That's going to make it look a little bit more dingy, less purple, more, oh my god, that is not right. Okay, get that away from me. That, again, you're going to blend all the way out, all over everything. Grab, a brown or something like that. There's not a color that I like on here on this palette specifically. But I have a different palette over here that I will use for actual show night. Figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. I think there should be a better brown on that palette. But, grab a brown that looks either like one of these two bottom ones here. Grab that, throw that on top. Again, just gonna make it look more dingy, less aggressively purple. And work that all over. Make it look just, you know, gross. Honestly, just make it look gross. I am going in my fingers because sometimes I find I have a lot more control that way. So you see we're starting to get like some nice built up, whatever. Now, this is my favorite part. I go in and I grab a nice dark muted blue. So I'm gonna grab this one right here. Literally, very small amount of that. And you're just going to go on top, dab in a couple different places, that blue. And now it kind of gives more of that broken blood vessel texture that's kind of there on bigger bruises. That's looking pretty gnarly, if I do say so myself. I'm just going to go over it with more black because I personally think it's a little bit too purple. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. A bruise shouldn't take you more than like a minute. Really, realistically, the more that you do it, the quicker you can pump them out. And especially when you already have a brush that has all of those colors on it because you've been doing it for forever. One brush continuously. Try to use the same brush. Or again, if you're using your fingers, now I can take this right there. Whoa, that already kind of looks like a bruise. You know what I mean? That's already pretty bruised color from just excess that's coming off of the brush. So make sure you use one brush. It'll make your life easier the longer that you go. You can already just set down a base of just boom, and then look at it and say, okay, it needs more this color, it needs more that color to make it look better. And I know it looks pretty extreme right here, right now. Let me take literally 2 steps back. Make sure that it's big, make sure that it's dark, because it's going to be under stage lighting, so it's not going to look as extreme. But it's very simple, and everything should be in just one palette. So as people run by you, grab them, throw a slap of bruise on them. Ask Charlotte for more specifics on that. Honestly, I don't know who she specifically wants to be bruised and when and where, because it's the battle and there's not really a lot of time. So just keep that in mind. We'll do some run-throughs and we'll figure out who needs to be bruised and when and where and how we can work that out. Another thing with the brown, just grab some on your fingers. Dirty some people up, you know? We're in a battle. Oh my god, we're being attacked. Using your fingers works a lot better for this kind of stuff than like something else. Than like a brush or something. Oh my god, now I have dirt on my face. What? Now I'm like being murdered by evil people. So keep that in mind as well. But yeah, that's how you do a nice, fun little bruise. Well, in this case, a giant bruise, a very giant bruise. Don't worry about setting it or spraying it or anything. It is literally going to be needed on stage for like 2 seconds. But yeah, so have fun and get bruised up.